All right, my fault, y'all. I was having a little technical difficulties, but we back. So let's get right back into this thing. What I was saying is this: if you want to help someone who is under deception, the most common way to do so is to, if possible, expose or remove the deception. So if you feel the deception is something that the church is doing, as a leader, how do you in clear conscience promote the church without any efforts to fix the wrongdoing? Because if you have no control over church on an individual basis, you could be a loyal follower and believe the message, but each person will attend their own church with a different pastor, preacher, or message. Maybe corruption, maybe not. Maybe good with funds, maybe not. Once you help that person find that faith, it kind of becomes out of your hand which church they attend to and how frequently. So what I'm saying is, do I do more good or bad if I think there is a problem within the realms of the church, but I'm so committed to the church that I choose not to do anything about it or to attempt to? I say, if I feel that there's something wrong and I'm taking the stance that I choose to follow anyway, that's my choice. What comes in question is, do I have the right to attempt to influence others to do so? Do I have the right to attempt to influence people that I am trying to lead, help, or, be a part of something great being built on behalf of those people? If I want to be a part of that, how do I endorse something that I'm not fully sure is going to do right? Now, this is not so much about the church as it is about the mind of an individual or the minds of us as individuals. Too frequently, we behave and speak without thinking. When caught into a situation where this inadequacy is pointed out, we are more likely to defend the premise that maybe we shouldn't for the sake of not being looked at in a certain light. But is this healthy? Defending something not because you wholeheartedly can defend it, but more so for the sake of defending yourself. This is why I say ego becomes a dangerous thing when dealing with consciousness. Because consciousness, seeking more consciousness, seeking more enlightenment, you're seeking more answers, you're seeking more intelligence. With all these things comes power. If you are not in the right mind frame on your way to these things, once you achieve them, how does it make your mind frame any better? If I'm going to endorse anything as a man, let's forget titles, labels, anything. Let's say as a man of this world, a man who is to himself thought to be a man of principle, then I, as a man of principle, will not put my stamp of approval on anything that I cannot completely validate. So, that's the thing. When I do these lectures, or whatever you want to call them, the things that I'm saying in them are things that I openly offer for you to challenge, and I offer advice and an insight into how I reach my conclusions. I'm not big on necessarily sources of information. If requested, I'll help you out. But what I find is people who run from enlightenment will find any excuse to get away from it. So therefore, I'm not going to give you a way out. And that's what happens a lot of times. People are looking for a way out of this intellectualism when they get bagged into a corner. And I'm not going to allow you a way out. Stand on your premise and your point with conviction, first of all. Second of all, with evidence. Look into it. Look into things. I'm going to look into something before I give it to you. Of course, it's my findings, but I looked. What happens is, say we looked at the same source. Now, we're two different individuals. My perception of yours is different. Now, it's the infamous, a new movie comes out. You're really thinking about seeing it, but you're not sure. Your dude hits you up like, hey, dude, man, I'm going to see that. Oh, man, I wanted to see that joint. Okay, so they come back. How was it? Oh, man, that joint was, that was the best action movie I've seen all summer. Okay, now I'm geeked up. I'm turned to the max. Grab the squad, let's go. We got popcorn, we got cotton candy. We spent $1,000 at the snack booth. In here early. I'm never early to the movies. I'm in here early. I'm ready to see this joint. 45 minutes into the thing, I'm sleep, slobbing, and snoring. But this is the best action movie of the summer. Who's right, who's wrong? Tomato, tomato. There is no right or wrong. This is his perception of the movie. So, I have to go give my own perception. My point is this. I could give you my sources. You could look in there with a blind eye, don't see half of what I saw, then come out and tell me I'm baloney. All of this information is available. You and I could find the same damn thing from two completely different books. So why talk about the title of the books? I'm more interested in the information that came out of them. The bottom line is research anyway. I could give you 1,000 sources. Could be lying about every last one of them. If you never pick up the book, then I just gave you a great speech with wonderful sources. You'll never know. These could be cartoon characters from a foreign flick I seen. My point is this. Let's do our own research. Let's do our own thinking. And let's keep the emotionalism out of it. We're all here on a quest for knowledge. But the ego intervenes and the knowledge gets blocked. Like they used to say, you block your blessings. Don't necessarily believe in that to an extent. But it's the same thought process here. A blessing can come in the form of insight, information. Perception is everything. Always remember that. You're going to hear me say that all the time. The most important word in the English, in the English language is perception. Perception is everything. Most of the time, two people don't see the same thing when they look at a thing. This is the nature of humans. Our nature is to analyze from different angles. So two different individuals, quite often, will look at the same thing and see two different things. This is the beauty and essence of life, where we problem solve, not get emotional and say, my point's better than yours. No, we work through it so that each party leaves with something. Instead, you guys would rather leave with anger and insults and mumble stuff after the other party leaves or is out of your presence. Let's start challenging. Let's start not being afraid to think for yourself. If I say church ain't right, I got to be able to prove it. If you say church is right, but you decide to listen to what I'm saying anyway, don't hear something I got a good point of and then try to avoid that and make right out of wrong. If a man got a point, a man got a point. And at that point, I have to reevaluate what I think. And see, the difference between me and a lot of you all is, I don't subscribe to anything but blackness. Everything else is just a thing to be dealt with. And what I mean by that is, even according to your scriptures, all of this started with total darkness. If we're going to put some sense to that, what is melanated? What is melanin? Consolidated. Total darkness, baby. The darker the better, the more melanin. They say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Well, this juice is called melanin. So I ain't got no problem with any of it. I love it all. Let's get scholarly. Let's bang it out. Let's pull the books out. Let's have so much stuff across the floor that it looked like we both just escaped from a college motherfucking classroom. So what? You right, I'm wrong. I prove your religion is crap. The hell you so mad about? I just did you a favor. Throw the whole damn thing out and let's go study together. Duh. But no. I prove your religion is crap. You find the one thing that you feel you can hold on to. You beat it all the way into the ground until you make yourself feel better. Then you walk off feeling accomplished. Let me ask you all this. Are you all so caught up into this dumbass system that you don't think that the creators of it have crossed the T's and dotted the I's? I had a brother tell me today that he was going to work the system from the inside. I get straight on y'all for a minute and say, enough with the jokes, fam. No disrespect intended. But can we do a head check, a head count, a tally on how many African Americans, black men, just melanated beings in general, had the thought process to change this rotten system from the inside out? Well, riddle me this, Batman. How about I take 2 piles of manure, I sprinkle potpourri and all the finest spices in the world on one pile of shit, and I stick a aromatherapy candle and a whole bunch of Febreze on the other pile? What, my dear listeners, do we have in those 2 piles? Can you say shit for 500, Alex? And you won a brand new car. Come on, man. Can we please wake up? There have been brilliant scholars who put their life, family, and everything on the line with the hopes of changing this system from the inside. And some of y'all gonna sit here and say, look how far we came. Yeah, we came far enough for them to shoot your ass on Facebook Live. The whole world watch it. He go to court, get off, and y'all go march and hold signs and shit. Is that how you gonna change the sign? Is that how you gonna change the system from the inside? You're gonna have cute little meetings and hold signs and do dinners and brunches and say real fancy words when the cameras come on? Then when the cameras go off, y'all go home and do the same shit I do. Smoke pot and say foul words. We all playing a game, but y'all bending the rules. And then you get you a listening audience, or you get you a couple people that like what you say, and then you twist facts and twist the narrative so that they agree with the bullcrap that you putting out. So let me go on record in saying this. If you think you're going to change a dog shit, racist, corrupted system from the inside, then understand I'm not doing it from the inside. Which means ultimately anybody that's black attempting to work this system from the inside, you got two options, because it's their system, they created it. They already understand that as a black man who is their sworn enemy, first chance you get, you're going to try to change it from the inside. That's why they got it set up. I want y'all to go right now. Anybody listening within my ear's reach, you make me a list of 10 black men who changed it from the inside. If you can validate it with proof, you got $100 coming. I mean real live proof that they changed it from the inside. Not made a change. Because y'all going to say a bunch of dumb shit. Y'all going to say Malcolm. Y'all going to say Martin. Well, for anybody listening, if those two names are on your list, you already lost 100. Because Malcolm and Martin didn't change a damn thing from the inside. That's why they got their brains blew out. Because they had the ability to change it from the inside. So let me pull y'all coat to history. I don't spew out emotional thoughts. My only emotion is with blackness. And anybody who cares about that, they got me 100%. I don't care if you're blue with 4 toes. If you bout blackness, let's ride. Now, y'all love to talk this Martin shit. Excuse me, Granny. Martin, for the most part, I ain't gonna say completely, but for the most part, where research takes us, if we really do some. Are you familiar with the term up the creek without a paddle? Okay. We're the creek without the paddle. Martin is the one who sent us. I deal with all races, and I got no problem with nobody that don't got a problem with me. But being honest, for that moment, that space, integration was a horrible idea. It was a horrible dog shit plan. And the only thing I can say in his defense, it appears that he woke up just a little bit too late. Hence, the public execution on TV. Because if they want to, see, y'all don't think. They can kill you anywhere. Why do it live on TV? You all think because you think fair that you can solve problems within the essence of fairness. You're dealing with a wicked-ass unfair system. But you intend on analyzing it through the eyes of a fair lens. How retarded is that? How retarded is it, honestly, to think that you could change this dog shit from within? Let me ask you this. Why a black man in this openly racist country, I'm just spitting facts, while a black man in this openly racist country is making changes from the inside, what are the trillionaire oppressors going to be doing? You visualize them grabbing some popcorn and watching? Or are you going to be the next news clipping where you get your noodle knocked out live? Now, in all fairness to this discussion, I probably will be the noodle knocked out live, just because if they don't do that, then that means you ain't doing nothing. Or either you won. So, catch me on one of those sides. Either raising that flag saying we got him with a black fist in the air, or riddled with bullet holes on News at 9 because I was a headache to these motherfuckers. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and in any way, shape, or form attempt to convince my people that there's any right if you consumed in that trash. Regardless of whether you believe in Jesus or not, if I believe I have evidence contrary to that, it is my job to present it. You don't want me talking about your Jesus? I have a suggestion for you. And I'll say, excuse me, Granny, in advance. Get your ass in front of this camera. Choose your weapon, which is a metaphor for whichever scholarly device you want, and let's get it. Because I'm going to tell you now, just so that there's no misunderstandings anymore between me and any of people that I care for or don't care for or like or love or whatever, know this. If you subscribe to any religion that I'm familiar with, I'm probably against it. And if you hear me speak against your religion and you don't like it, let's get it. And I'm going to touch on all three of the three major ones, so that's an invitation to anybody. Because my first responsibility is not to business or corporations. Because business and corporations and funding, these are white boy tools. And when I say that, I mean the powers that be. That was just an expression, probably out of line, but I'm caught up in the moment. Either way, there will be no dealing with me and being passive when it comes to what we in. Because this is war, and y'all don't like to look at it like that. And I know why. Because it scares the shit out of you. See, y'all think I'm finna hip America to, I'm finna hip the world to y'all little scam. Here y'all go. I'm finna catch y'all with these brothers that get up into that business space. The reason why they so adamant about staying in that business space, because in that space, as long as you know your place, you can advance. Ain't no fighting. There's the presumption of fighting, because you get in these little minor scuffles where you think you gaining ground, not understanding that you being set up from the jump. Do any of you let a man in your house and you don't know why he in there? Do you open your door for a stranger, let him walk in and close it behind him without having any clue of what this stranger's intentions are? Of course you don't. Okay, this system is their house. You will not just sashay on in here with these great ideologies and reforms and marches, and they're going to roll over and hand you something that they've been building for 250 years. Sorry, smart guys. You're going to have to put down your briefcase and pick up a fucking pistol. In the end, briefcase ain't going to save you, because they don't care about you. You know what y'all doing in your little businesses? You're creating more wealth for the oppressor. These little functions and these little meetings, I see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, revolutionary talk, pro-black meetings, and some more. But then on Thursday, you posted up with the enemy smiling. And what you would like us to do is to all overlook that, because you saying, I got a plan, I'm going to work them from the inside, don't worry. And my only problem with that is, if I had a time machine and a crystal ball, then I would have to start counting all the black men who said that same thing and didn't do it. Because if working it from the inside was a plausible thing, we are geniuses. We'd have done it by now. The ancestors before us was so intelligent without half of the devices that we have to gain intelligence. They couldn't flip this dirty thing from the inside. And the only reason why y'all say that is because you don't know what the inside is. You just talk because you're scared to do. Business is safe. All you do is fill out papers and talk fancy. get in these trenches, choose your weapon, take 10 paces and draw like they did in the old days. That's what you're going to have to do if you really want to get from up under these people who got you up under them. Fancy words don't work. They created the language, genius. So you can say whatever you want in your little meetings. And you can sign petitions and all that. You dealing with a system that shoots a man live. Shows on camera the officer planting the weapon. And then shows on that very same news channel weeks later that officer walking out of the courtroom unharmed. And any answer you could give me for that is going to be a dumb one. Because y'all don't think. Because if you thought that through, you wouldn't say stupid shit like I'm going to church. Going to church for what? You praying, they killing. When you Negroes gonna get up off your knees and do something different? Praying ain't worked. And now, we finna enter another arena. Because a couple people who only listening to point out the flaws, probably even some of the individuals I'm talking about, what I just said and what they just heard is two different things, and I already know I can read y'all mind. So here's another flaw. How you spend your whole life dedicated to God and you have no clue what God is? Now you say, how you know what we know? You think you know everything. You're not the final authority. No, I'm not. But here's what I do know. A little studying and intelligence answer a lot of questions that y'all just babble about because you ain't thinking. Black folks in this country been praying for over 100 years. We haven't been answered yet, and we still praying. Because that book says somebody gonna come help us one day. So we sit around, we pray, we have meetings, we march, we go to church, and all that. Life is so multidimensional. You know, I used to go to church with my granny every Sunday. And after church, one of my favorite things was how they would cook these big lavish meals and feed everybody. And I used to always think that is so fly that, you know, because that church we used to go to, man, that fried chicken was off the chain. And I used to love, man, they had all these different desserts. And I used to think, all this food for all these people, he must really love us. Is it the pastor's responsibility if he's a messenger of God? Don't you think during one of those sermons, God would have taught the pastor about holistic and healthy eating? He gave you all these divine messages. You could even talk in tongues and read our mind. But in none of those messages did you get, we shouldn't have fried chicken, hot sauce, collard greens, cake, macaroni, and 3 more things on the same damn plate. He didn't put that message in there. But he told you, stop cussing. But he told you, don't take the Lord's name in vain. But he didn't tell you that all these foods will give you a colostrophe and your heart will stop? What God are y'all praying to? What God are y'all praying to? The same God that when you look at a woman dressed provocative and you look at her and say, she's a slut? Is that the same God? Is that the same God that allows the pedophile to only get 2 years? Because he prays to God too and he's a Christian. So are y'all praying to the same God is what I want to know. You ever seen some old pictures of the Klan? Ain't it weird how they was all Christians? Are you praying to that God? Or do you even have any clue who you praying to? Now, nothing I say is without proof. I'm about to prove for a fact that 80% of y'all have no clue who God is. And I'm going to do it in 30 seconds or less. Watch this. Here's how I know you don't know who God is. Because every time you refer to God, you say, He. The Lord, He gonna give me strength. Please, Father in heaven. You start your prayers, Our Father who art in heaven. But every last one of you fucks came out a woman. When they first spit you out and you come into this world, who is your God? Because you don't have a clue about no Bible. But if there's a heaven, you just came from it. The first thing you worship is your mama. The first thing that ever happened to you in this world was she spit you out. And you repay her by praying to a picture of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. And then they tell you, color don't matter, it's an image. If color don't matter, why is he always white then? If color don't matter, how about we do this? Every other Sunday, we just switch the picture. 1 week white, 1 week black. If you suggest that, they might put your ass out of church. So what's really happening? Y'all refuse to think. And I could go on, but I got another thing I want to unpack before I get out of here. Now we got this vote. And all of you Negroes who are so informed, now you're getting intelligent, you're getting all jazzy in the comment section, talking down on other black folks because they're not voting. And all of a sudden, you more intelligent than everybody else because you understand the liberals and conservatives and the Democrats and Republicans. And I read these comments, and it's almost like I can see the looks on you all's face when you're writing the shit. You so intensely thinking you know what you're talking about. If I was sitting there, I would offend you how I just crack up laughing in your face. Most of what you all say, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm just trying to prove a point that when you speak out of ignorance, the only thing that can come out your mouth is something ignorant. And I had a discussion with someone about words. Y'all stop taking words so personal. What I just said is going to offend a lot of y'all. But it's going to offend you more so because it's right than anything else. You have a duty to yourself and anybody that you say you love to do your due diligence when pushing forth thoughts. If God is a man, and then I'll say God is all smart, all being, all knowing, He know everything. I say He sit over and watch and all these old wonderful stories y'all tell yourself. If God is this intelligent, as smart as you say, why does He create a system where everyone only enters this planet through a woman, but then pull a woman out the rib of a man? Let me say this again. By definition, God means all seeing, all knowing, all being. That being is smart enough to show you a cycle of life that is almost flawless. How the woman carries for 9 months, releases the baby, brings you into the world, nurtures you, feeds you with her breast, everything. And then create a system that does the exact opposite. Or should I say create a story that does the exact opposite of the system that he created? I apologize. Why have a system that completely contradicts what is said to be your unattested word of what's to happen on this planet? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. So you're instructing us to honor your mother, even though at some point a woman got pulled out of a man's rib. These things just don't make sense. They don't add up. And to you, it makes all kind of sense, because you're going to say, he's God, he could do whatever. Yeah, he could do whatever except for make sense through most of the damn book. And y'all just read the book wholeheartedly, you don't care. Same God that created sun, moon, stars, and all that shit. Created rain. But didn't realize until after it rained that he needed somebody to tend the ground. I mean, really, does that make sense? God knows everything. He created all of these things in 7 days. But didn't realize until the 8th day he was going to need a nigga to watch after some shit. But y'all love it. You eat it up. What's my point? My point is, it starts to seem like you all wouldn't know a scam if it bit you in the ass. We in the trouble. We're under this plague because we haven't been able to see deception repeatedly. We have been repeatedly deceived by the same damn people. And we, instead of spanking that ass, we keep making excuses on why they should deceive us more. And how the deception ain't really that bad. And now for a rational thinking person who's educating himself, what am I supposed to do? Keep letting y'all sing songs, marching, and act like I don't see it? Well, I tell you, like I told the brother earlier, who is someone who I've been known for probably 30 years. Before I see what they doing to us and choose not to say something for whatever reason, they're going to have to kill me brutally. Now, y'all gonna say, don't say that. My mama watched this. She getting chills right now. She probably say, my baby, don't say that. Okay, so even though you can't see my face, mama, let me explain something to you. I am not here to care about anything that this little lousy experience has to offer. What I do care about is, on my watch, while I'm a part of this planet, there is a huge wrongdoing occurring to a specific group of people. I would like to think, whether that was my race or not, I'm going to stand up for injustice. So if it means that they Malcolm X me in front of my whole crowd, family, and all that after one of my speeches, y'all getting sad thinking about it. Well, guess what you don't know about me? I've already told everybody in my life that a successful adventure for me ends with a bullet in my head. Y'all give